Chevy recently completely upended the auto industry. Are they permanently altering its regulations in a market beset by unsold inventory and faltering rivals? Wall Street was taken aback by Chevy's bombshell, leaving Stellantis and Ford are battling to stay ahead. But what precisely is this audacious move? Imagine a car market that is on the verge of overflowing, and what does their strategy mean for the future of cars? More importantly, how will this seismic shift affect you and what you pay? Numerous layoffs and automakers fighting for their lives, then suddenly the entire industry is stunned by Chevy's daring move. The auto industry has been in disarray. Growing costs of production, disruptions to the global supply chain, and fluctuating consumer demand have forced even the largest players to their limits. Many people are wondering who will survive in this chaotic environment, where Ford, Stellantis, and other giants are drowning in unsold inventory and their dealership is having trouble finding buyers. This is all happening just as the market appeared to be about to crash. While others were overwhelmed, Chevrolet rewrote the rules and adjusted to a changing world in ways no one else could have predicted. In a single calculated move, they not only survived but flourished, turning the industry upside down. What precisely did Chevy do to bring about this profound change? The shockwave not only upended the status quo, but also established a new benchmark for the whole sector. Wall Street was taken aback by the announcement. Nobody anticipated it. Chevy's announcement caused a stir not only in dealerships but also on Wall Street. Chevy's earnings report completely destroyed expectations rather than just exceeding them. In a year when the majority of automakers were reporting layoffs or declining sales, investors were taken aback when Chevrolet did the unimaginable and prospered. Wall Street analysts rushed to explain it. The answer to how Chevy had outperformed its rivals in such a difficult market was not flashy luxury models or overhyped electric cars, but rather something much more grounded, affordable, efficient, and an unrivaled ability to adjust to consumer demand at a time when rivals like Ford and Stellantis were struggling with overstock and shrinking market shares. While other brands were struggling to stay afloat, Chevy was gaining momentum and leaving the competition in their wake. What is the secret to Chevy's success? What did Chevy do differently while rivals pursued high-margin luxury dreams? Chevy was quietly implementing a strategy that would set them apart. It wasn't just about profits, it was about redefining what success looks like in the automotive industry. Chevy remained committed to the needs of the average consumer. Although Chevrolet's approach wasn't particularly eye-catching, it was groundbreaking in a world preoccupied with expensive luxury SUVs and state-of-the-art electric cars. While others priced themselves out of reach for the average consumer, Chevy embraced the mass market, offering options for families, first-time car buyers, and anyone looking for value. However, Chevy's brilliance didn't stop at affordability. They understood the importance of balance. They doubled down on affordability without sacrificing quality, and models like the Chevy Trailblazer and Trax proved to be game changers, offering practicality and reliability at a price point that didn't alienate buyers. In order to ensure that Chevy had something for everyone, premium models like the Silverado and Tahoe catered to those who were willing to spend a little more. This balance wasn't just ingenious, it was revolutionary, enabling Chevy to dominate across income brackets and build a customer base that rivals couldn't match. However, Chevy's strategy went beyond simply setting prices. It also involved rewriting the rules of automotive success. A new set of guidelines for success. Chevy didn't just play the game, they completely changed it. What makes Chevy unique is their flexibility, as rivals like Ford and Stellantis encountered resistance from dealerships. Chevy forged closer ties and steered clear of the dangers of overproduction, guaranteeing that their cars sold out, lots, in a timely and reliable manner. While Ford's F-150 Lightning failed to live up to expectations, Chevy's approach to electrification was another masterstroke. Rather than jumping headfirst into an uncertain EV market, they took a measured approach. Chevy maintained profitability while planning for the future by balancing innovation and pragmatism, concentrating on enhancing gas-powered models like the Suburban and Silverado while progressively growing their EV lineup. They didn't give up on their core competencies, instead they improved them. In order to further streamline production and cut costs, Chevy also made investments in advanced manufacturing techniques and improved supply chain management. The outcome? In an industry that was in dire need of stability, Chevy not only survived the turmoil but flourished, becoming a leader. However, as Chevy was doing well, its rivals were struggling. What went wrong for the rest of the industry? Rivals like Ford and Stellantis were drowning in their own mistakes as Chevy surged ahead, while their success became the talk of the industry. This was made possible by Chevy's foresight in maintaining a diverse portfolio. which allowed them to pivot seamlessly as market demands evolved. Their ability to anticipate consumer needs and respond with agility set them apart, making their success a benchmark for others to follow. Their tactics were once commended for emphasizing high margins. Luxury cars were failing miserably in a market that was changing quickly. Unsold Broncos, Rangers, and F-150s were piled high in inventory at Ford dealerships, thus accumulation, producing a bleak image of stagnation. Stellantis fared no better. Their decision to discontinue production of the Ram 1500 Classic revealed a widening gap with consumer demand. But why were these auto giants having trouble? It came down to a single crucial error. By placing too much emphasis on luxury and giving priority to expensive models, they alienated a sizable section of their clientele, at a time when interest rates were rising and budgets were getting tighter. These cars just didn't appeal to buyers. What did Chevy do differently, and how did they see the gap that others ignored between affordability and luxury, while competitors bet on exclusivity? Chevy, on the other hand, saw the writing on the wall and avoided the pitfalls of overproduction and overpriced inventory by maintaining a diverse lineup that catered to all income brackets. Chevy is reaping the benefits of its increased emphasis on accessibility. Ford and Stellantis placed a large wager on luxury cars in the hope that higher margins would compensate for lower sales volume. But this tactic backfired. Amazingly, as economic uncertainty loomed large, consumers were no longer willing to shell out for pricey SUVs or trucks. However, Chevy recognized a significant change in consumer behavior and shifted their focus from luxury margins to affordability without sacrificing quality. Models like the Chevy Trailblazer and Trax became shining examples of this approach, providing dependable, useful transportation at prices that appealed to a wide range of consumers, while rivals concentrated on the high-end market. Chevy recognized that most consumers were searching for value, and as a result, the Trailblazer's starting price was significantly lower than that of its rivals, making it a desirable choice for first-time car buyers, young professionals, and families. However, Chevy didn't completely give up on the luxury market. Models like the Silverado High Country and Tahoe Premium catered to buyers who were willing to spend more, ensuring they captured every segment of the market. Additionally, Chevy's dedication to quality and customer satisfaction strengthened their reputation, encouraging loyalty and repeat business. They made investments in cutting-edge features and dependable performance across all models, ensuring that affordability never meant sacrificing the driving experience. As a result, Chevy wasn't just meeting demand, they were creating it, outperforming their competitors in terms of sales volume and customer trust. However, affordability wasn't Chevy's only advantage. Their cautious approach to electrification proved to be just as important. In addition to increasing sales, Chevy's strategic emphasis on accessibility has established a new benchmark for the industry, forcing other automakers to reconsider their strategies and put the needs of their customers first. Chevy has cemented its long-term dominance in the auto industry by taking the EV risk. The electric vehicle revolution has been a hot topic in the automotive industry, and companies like Ford and Stellantis have invested billions in electrification, launching high-profitability models like the Ford F-150 Lightning and various Stellantis EVs. However, these ambitious projects have been beset by difficulties and production delays. In contrast, Chevy took a step back and the strategy worked. Their efforts have been hindered by high manufacturing costs and inadequate charging infrastructure, which has led many consumers to doubt the viability of these new models. Once heralded as a groundbreaking innovation, Ford's F-150 Lightning struggled to meet sales expectations due to production issues, high price points, and limited charging infrastructure, alienating potential customers. Similar issues with their electric models not connecting in a market that is still dominated by gas-powered cars, and supply chain interruptions have made it even more difficult for them to provide EVs effectively and economically. Instead of overcommitting to electrification, Chevy adopted a different strategy, acknowledging that although EVs are the way of the future, gas-powered vehicles still dominate the market today. Chevy prioritized keeping a balanced portfolio, which allowed them to serve a larger spectrum of customers without alienating their current clientele while progressively rolling out electric options. Chevy avoided the financial strain and overproduction problems that beset their rivals by using a straightforward but efficient strategy that maximized their gas-powered lineup, while introducing EVs like the Silverado Electric and Equinox Electric gradually. This balanced approach guaranteed consistent revenue streams from their traditional models while gradually increasing their presence in the EV market. More significantly, Chevy recognized the realities of the EV market by delaying electrifying their entire lineup because battery technology is still costly and charging infrastructure is still inadequate in many areas. Chevy made investments to boost the performance and efficiency of their gas-powered models in order to maintain their competitiveness and appeal to a wide range of consumers, all the while maintaining profitability as they prepared for a gradual switch to electric vehicles. Chevy avoided the inventory problems that hindered their rivals by concentrating on establishing trust with dealers, which guaranteed that their vehicles were always available and appealing to consumers. Chevy's comprehensive approach, which combines strong partnerships with a balanced product line, distinguished the company as a leader in the automotive sector and demonstrated that even in a market with volatile dealer dynamics, strategic decisions can produce impressive results. Meanwhile, competitors' relationships with their dealers were strained. Chevy earned people's trust and benefited from it. The foundation of the automotive industry is the relationship between automakers and dealerships. For Ford and Stellantis, these relationships were growing more strained as a result of overproduction, which resulted in overflowing lots that forced dealerships to turn away more inventory. This created a bottleneck that made it more difficult for these brands to move cars and reach sales goals. However, by matching production to demand, Chevy was able to avoid the inventory problems that beset their rivals and instead provided dealers with cars that buyers truly wanted to purchase, preserving strong ties with their dealer network. This strategy gave Chevy a competitive edge in a highly competitive market by maintaining a smooth supply chain and preventing Chevy vehicles from sitting on dealership lots. It also increased dealer trust in Chevy. Another important component of Chevy's dealer strategy was their emphasis on flexibility, as opposed to other automakers' strict production schedules. Chevy maintained strong dealer relationships by working closely with dealers to modify inventory in response to local demand. This flexibility allowed Chevy to react swiftly to market trends and keep their dealers engaged and profitable. Chevy made sure that their cars got to customers quickly, solidifying their position as the market leader. But what does Chevy's success mean for the larger market? The effect of ripples, Chevy's dominance has sent shockwaves through the market, causing rivals like Ford and Stellantis to rethink their focus on luxury vehicles and overly ambitious electrification plans. Their strategy has not only affected their rivals, but it is also changing the entire automotive industry. These businesses are being forced by this quick change to make quick decisions, frequently at the expense of their long-term goals and well-established brand identities. For instance, Stellantis recently announced that they would no longer be producing the Ram 1500 Classic, indicating a major change in priorities. This action demonstrates their difficulty in maintaining profitability while trying to meet the demands of the market. To regain stability and better satisfy customer needs, Ford has also started to reassess its strategy, reducing its luxury models and refocusing on mass-market options. These changes demonstrate a growing understanding of the significance of affordability as a principle. From the beginning, Chevy has led the way by demonstrating that affordability and innovation can coexist. Chevy has made the industry reevaluate what success looks like by proving that even in a difficult economic climate, having a varied and approachable lineup can lead to sustained growth. Chevy's influence is evident. In addition to dominating the market, they are redefining it and making the industry more consumer-friendly, while simultaneously forcing rivals to go on the defensive. As Chevy paves the way for the entire automotive industry to evolve, prioritizing value and practicality alongside innovation and luxury that change consumer expectations, their daring actions continue to shape the future of the automotive industry. Their ability to predict market trends and respond with strategic agility sets a new benchmark for what it means to be a leader in the automotive sector. Chevy anticipated the needs of its customers, rather than merely listening to them. Changed industry expectations. The automotive landscape is more divided than ever on one end, with luxury cars making headlines, with promises of high performance and cutting-edge technology on the one hand, and affordability turning into a deciding factor for buyers navigating rising living expenses in an uncertain economy, on the other. Chevy recognized that crossing this divide was not only wise, but also essential. Today's buyers are searching for vehicles that meet their spending limits without sacrificing features or quality. Chevy seized this opportunity by providing affordable, dependable models like the Trailblazer and Trax. At the same time, their mid-tier and premium models like the Silverado and Tahoe appealed to buyers seeking a bit more without going overboard with prices. So this alignment with customer expectations wasn't a coincidence. Chevy positioned itself as the brand for real-world buyer relationships by emphasizing value and dependability after analyzing market trends and realizing that consumers were growing more leery of luxury price tags. Chevy's transformation was more than just meeting expectations. It was also about establishing trust in a volatile market regarding the role of gas-powered models as the industry rushed toward electric vehicles. Chevy's ability to deliver vehicles that match consumer priorities has not only met expectations, but also raised them, forcing the rest of the industry to rethink their approach. Chevy remained focused on what customers still desired: reliable gas-powered vehicles. Many automakers have overlooked their gas-powered models in the haste to electrify, creating a sizable market gap. However, Chevy doubled down on streamlining their lineup after realizing the long-lasting appeal of conventional internal combustion engine vehicles. Perfect examples of this approach are the Chevrolet Suburban and Tahoe, which have long been mainstays for both families and businesses thanks to their roomy interiors, dependable performance, and cutting-edge technology. Even though the EV market is expanding, many consumers are still reluctant to switch because of worries about charging infrastructure, battery range, and higher upfront costs, which keep gas-powered vehicles the preferred option for a sizable portion of buyers. Chevy didn't just keep these vehicles in production. They improved them to ensure they remained competitive in a changing market. Chevy has been able to meet this demand and secure a consistent flow of devoted customers by continuing to maintain and improve their gas-powered lineup. While rivals struggled to adjust, Chevy's emphasis on gas-powered models not only preserved a market segment, but also made it a crucial component of their success. However, what lessons did Chevy take away from their rivals' mistakes as Ford and Stellantis faltered? Chevy made notes and used those insights to develop successful tactics. Overproduction of high-incident vehicles and misaligned electrification strategies have been major issues for both Ford and Stellantis in recent years. Ford's inventory problems, which were demonstrated by unsold F-150s and Broncos, brought attention to the dangers of overestimating demand. Stellantis, meanwhile, is having trouble with their classic Ram 1500 production, cuts that indicate a failure to strike a balance between profitability and affordability. Chevy avoided these problems by continuing to be flexible instead of producing too many high-end models. They expanded their selection to include a range of mid-range, premium, and reasonably priced options. This strategy made it possible for Chevy to satisfy demand across a range of price points without experiencing the inventory problems that beset their rivals in the EV market, Ford and Stellantis, who invested heavily in ambitious projects that didn't yield the anticipated returns. Chevy, on the other hand, adopted a more measured strategy, giving profitability and market readiness top priority, implementing EVs gradually while keeping up with their gas-powered vehicle optimization efforts. And taking note of their rivals' mistakes, Chevy transformed obstacles into opportunities, strengthening their position as the market leader. The ripple effects of their strategy extended well beyond their sales numbers. In addition to prospering, Chevy is reshaping the industry to benefit dealers, rivals, and most importantly, consumers. As Chevy's influence increases, the question is whether they can maintain this momentum in a quickly changing domestic reimbursement landscape. Will they have what it takes to fight for reliability and hold more engineers accountable on the ultra-highway? Even though Chevy is winning right now, can they maintain their lead as the electric revolution approaches? Although Chevy's cautious approach to electrification has so far been successful, the automotive industry is undergoing a seismic shift, as governments around the world are pushing for stricter emission standards, and many automakers have committed to phase out gas-powered vehicles within the next 2 decades. The future is full of significant risks. The Tesla. Despite their difficulties, Ford and Stellantis are investing billions in EV development to guarantee their place in this new era, while the undisputed leader in the EV space continues to dominate with innovations years ahead of the competition. In contrast, Chevy has adopted a more measured strategy. Models like the Equinox EV and Silverado EV show promise, but they're joining a market that is crowded with rivals and has high expectations from customers. Chevy's practical approach also gives them an advantage by concentrating on profitability and maintaining a balance between EVs and gas-powered vehicles. By doing this, they have avoided the financial pitfalls that have caught their rivals. But if they don't scale their EV production at the right time, they run the risk of being seen as trailing behind Chevy's future in the electric vehicle market. The cost of battery technology is still a major barrier, and widespread infrastructure issues like inadequate charging stations add to the complexity. Finding the ideal balance between innovation and timing is crucial for Revolution, and it could define their next 10 years. But there are other obstacles besides electric vehicles. In a world where sustainability is becoming more and more important, Chevy must balance sustainability and profitability. Chevy strikes a balance between financial success and environmentally conscious innovation. Governments and consumers alike are calling for cleaner, more efficient cars, and Chevy needs to step up to meet these demands, as the automotive industry is increasingly driven by the push towards sustainability. While other automakers are making significant investments in EVs, frequently at the high cost of profitability, Chevy's current approach shows a realistic understanding of the difficulties. Chevy is addressing the current market while laying the groundwork for the future by introducing hybrid models and emphasizing gas-powered vehicles that are fuel-efficient. The Chevrolet Bolt, one of their first EV entries, has seen success, but it's only the beginning. The difficulty is in growing their selection of electric vehicles while keeping the test price reasonable. Due to pressure from rivals, brands like Chevy are now under pressure to develop EVs that are both affordable and successful. Chevy's sustainability initiatives go beyond just their automobiles. Their long-term strategy includes partnerships with battery suppliers for sustainable sourcing and investments in renewable energy at manufacturing facilities. But these initiatives must scale swiftly to meet regulatory requirements and consumer expectations. In a crowded, eco-conscious market, Chevy's ability to maintain profitability while embracing sustainability could set them apart. As Chevy navigates these challenges, both their competitors and their customers are closely monitoring the implications for the entire industry. Chevy is causing the entire industry to change in addition to reinventing itself. As Tesla continues to set the bar for electric vehicle innovation, rivals like Ford and Stellantis are scrambling to adjust as a result of Chevy's audacious strategy. The stakes are higher for dealers and everyone else as a result of Chevy's success. While competitors encounter opposition from their dealership networks, Chevrolet's strategy provides a model for improved relationships and more effective inventory management. Chevy has demonstrated that cooperation and adaptability are essential for overcoming consumer market obstacles. The ramifications are significant. Chevy's emphasis on dependability and affordability is changing the market by giving consumers choices that put value above luxury. If other automakers adopt similar strategies, the industry may witness a more widespread shift toward consumer-friendly practices, but there are risks associated with this change. Conversely, if Chevy places too much emphasis on premium products, they risk alienating the budget-conscious customers who have been the driving force behind their recent success. Chevy is addressing the current market while laying the groundwork for the future by introducing hybrid models and emphasizing gas-powered vehicles that are fuel-efficient. The Chevrolet Bolt, one of their first EV entries, has seen success, but it's only the beginning. The difficulty is in growing their selection of electric vehicles while keeping the test price reasonable. Due to pressure from rivals, brands like Chevy are now under pressure to develop EVs that are both affordable and successful. Chevy's sustainability initiatives go beyond just their automobiles. Their long-term strategy includes partnerships with battery suppliers for sustainable sourcing and investments in renewable energy at manufacturing facilities. But these initiatives must scale swiftly to meet regulatory requirements and consumer expectations. In a crowded, eco-conscious market, Chevy's ability to maintain profitability while embracing sustainability could set them apart. As Chevy navigates these challenges, both their competitors and their customers are closely monitoring the implications for the entire industry. If Chevy overcommits to affordability, they run the risk of being seen as less innovative than brands like Tesla. Chevy's capacity for equilibrium is worth investigating further. The automotive industry's future may be shaped by the new standard that innovation, affordability, and profitability are setting.